Today we're going to talk about some reasons why lag might be actually keeping you from hitting the golf ball as far as you're capable of. So first of all, let's talk about the word lag. Let's define it so we can actually understand what we're talking about, and then we'll get into some ways on how we can actually maybe decrease our lag to increase our distance. So there's a lot of ways to define lag. For today's purposes, here's how we're going to define it. It's the difference between the butt end of the club and the club head. Now the bigger that angle is, so as you're looking at it right here, the bigger the difference between the butt end of the club and the club head, the more lag I would have. The less that angle is, so like this would be zero angle, that would be no lag, or actually the opposite, maybe we'll call it negative lag if there is such a thing. So big angle, lots of lag, no angle, no lag. The other way would be like the opposite of having any type of lag at all. Now, be sure to leave some comments, or if you got a question on that, or maybe you define it a different way, be sure to leave those in there because I always do my best to respond to those. We love hearing from you, even whether you agree or disagree. We love hearing that. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because we got a lot of great content out there that's helping people play better golf all over the globe. So that's how we define what lag is. Now, here's the thing. Lag is good at certain times of the golf swing, and lag is bad at other points of the golf swing. So let's talk about that. So when is lag good in the golf swing? Well, lag is good in the golf swing in the transition from backstroke to downstroke. So when I'm here at the top and I transition from backstroke to forward stroke, increasing that lag a little bit is a good thing. Most amateur golfers do the opposite, and that might be you. And that's why lag has kind of become this like secret word to like increase your distance. Like somehow that's the magic thing. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. All right, because at the top of the backswing, a lot of amateur golfers decrease the lag, or they speed the club head up and slow the handle down. Now, most of my tour professionals that I work with do just the opposite. Okay, our high-level golfers from the top, in the transition, they actually increase the lag. So the club head slows down while the handle speeds up, kind of an action like that. And that's a good thing in the transition of the golf swing. But at the bottom of the swing, at impact, we don't want that. You don't want a lot of lag at impact. Now let me show you why. So let me go ahead. So when I hit a shot here, I'm just going to get set in here. And I'm just going to try to hold the lag off. So I'm going to really try to hold that lag. All right, let me go ahead and hit a shot. Now first of all, when I do that, the ball flight goes down. I definitely hit it towards the heel. Not a lot of speed. All right, but when I let the lag out, and we're going to talk about that more in a second here. I'm going to show you some specific ways to practice that. But when I get set in here, let me hit another shot, and I'm just going to try to let the club head go a little bit, let it speed up, take the lag out. So I'm going to increase the lag and then let it out a little bit at the bottom. Here we go. Okay, a little bit behind it, but pretty darn solid, and definitely had a better ball flight to it. So at the moment of impact, we want to see speed in the club head, not speed in the handle, because that's really what we're measuring. That's what causes the golf ball to go a long ways, is the speed in the club head. So at the moment of impact, we want to decrease lag, or what we call neutralize, so we get in a position like that. So how are some ways that we can practice that? We've defined what lag is. We've talked about it's good at certain points. It's good in transition. It's not good at the bottom. All right, let me circle back to that real quick. So at impact, we don't want to have a ton of lag like this. See how this is a lot of lag. What happens is we hit a lot of shots towards the heel, and also there's no speed in the club head. We want to get to impact. We want the club head speeding up and the handle slowing down. Basically, we're letting the lag out. All right, we're neutralizing. So let's talk a little bit about how we can do that. And I think this visual will be good. Hopefully this makes sense. If you got some questions or any comments on that, be sure to leave those in there and I'll do my best to answer them. Now, this is something that I came across years ago. I wish I could tell you where I got it, because I tell you to go buy one. But this is a fantastic way to understand how we want speed in the club head, not in the handle. So we're going to think of this tennis ball right here. This is the energy. Okay, this is the energy we're building in the golf swing. Now in the backswing, all right, we've already talked about this, but in the backswing, all right, we're loading up, and in that transition, okay, notice how the ball falls there. All right, let me do it again. Take it up. Okay, see how that's the energy loading. I'm increasing my leg in that transition. But as I get down to impact, I want that energy now to shift and move all the way down to the club head. So let me do it in a little bit regular speed here. So I'm going to take it up, Okay, I load it. There it is. See, I increase the lag, and I'm going to let it out. And hopefully you could hear the pop there. So I take it up. In the transition, I'm going to load it. There it goes. See the ball fall? That's the energy loading. Now we're going to let that energy into the club head, and we hear that pop. Now, if I get the lag there, right? Okay, and as people tell you, I just don't think it's good if I say hold the lag, hold the lag, hold the lag, hold the lag. Okay, look what happens to the energy. Look what happens to the tennis ball. It never releases. Okay, this is a bad position to be in. I've got to learn to release that. So that's one way that you could practice. You might even be able to make something like that at home for yourself, but you get the idea. Now let me show you one other one. I really like this product. It's called the Orange Whip, and we use it for a variety of things here at the Academy. Most people think of the Orange Whip for rhythm and bounce. Wonderful tool for that. But it can also get you a feel for what it's like to let the energy out in the club head, decrease that lag. Increase it, then decrease it. So here's how it works. You've seen this probably around. If not, be sure to check it out at Orange Whip. So it's got, this is the energy again, right? Here's the energy, right? So I just take it up. I feel a little bit of load. See that? Hopefully maybe from this angle too, I'm going to take it up. And you can see that increasing. There's the lag. It increases. Okay? Now down here at the bottom, I don't want to hold that on. I want to let it out a little bit. So regular speed. And I can feel how the club lags, and then it lets it out. So the Orange Whip, because of the extra weight here at the end, makes that feeling a little bit easier. All right, so let's recap what we've learned here today. We're not saying that lag is bad, but we are saying that you have to understand when lag is good in the golf swing and when it's maybe actually keeping you from increasing your club head speed. So here's how we defined lag. The difference between the butt end of the club and the club head. The bigger that angle is, the bigger the lag. All right? No angle, no lag. All right? In the golf swing, we want to get to the top, and increasing lag is good, but at the bottom, we've got to learn to let it out. So when I set in here, what I want to feel, and this is the tip I'm going to give you to finish up with here, I'm going to go ahead and hit a shot, is we want speed in the club head, not speed in the handle. So I'm set up here, I'm going to get some speed in the club head. Okay, and when I get speed in the club head, I get speed in the golf ball, and that's actually what gives me more distance. So hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully this helps define what lag is, gives you some concepts around why it's good at certain points of the golf swing. But hey, as we always said, if you don't like what we said, or you disagree, or you like what we've said, be sure to leave a comment. I do my best to respond to all those. Be sure to subscribe, and be sure to keep an eye open, because we're constantly putting out great content that's going to help you play better golf.